So you always seem to get given female co-hosts.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like, rock the girls forever.
Speaking of rock the girls.
No, but I mean, what do you not like? Do you question the fact that I was always working with a female, or is it like just an observation that you're making?
It's just an observation that I'm making. That's because I'm thinking back on all your co-hosts, and they've all been women.
Listen, let me tell you. Let me give you the list.
So I'm saying, do you prefer working with women, or is it just something that happens from management?
Let me tell you something really crazy. As much as in the majority of the times I've been working with women, I suppose from a management point of view, they want to have a dynamic of male-female perspectives. It's great for the chemistry and
great for commercial as well.
Yeah, and the duality of different opposing thoughts on both sides of the fence. But some of the best times I've had on radio was with male co-hosts. Like for instance, when MacG started at Y, he started on my evening show, right? And again, he had like an entertainment segment that he would do on the show, because he was like, dude, like, what can I do? I said, you know what? Let's think of something that you'll do on the show just to legitimize your ass on this show. You can't just come and talk. There's got to be a feature that you do. And so that was the feature. But 99% of the time, he would never like cover any entertainment story. He would literally get on air and we would just talk shit. But what I mean by talk shit is the banter within the conversations we had was so unbelievable that it actually created a personality. It brought a lot of my personality out. It launched him on radio in the context of YFM, made him super interesting to the listeners, where people would be like, where's MacG? And so that combo was just like special. And the good thing is that we had the relationship off air. So it was almost like, the younger brother that I never had, right? And I could literally open the mic and say one word, Jill, and we would just cruise. Like the rest would be history.
Okay, so have you read his book?
I haven't read his book. Funny, and this is.
Do you know he quoted you?
All right, what did he say about me this time in his book?
He said actually something very nice about you. He said you gave him a piece of advice that he was to be something on radio. If you can't just be on radio, you have to actually be something. So what did you mean by that?
So let me tell you where I got that. Listening to YFM as a youngster made me realize that you need not only to just do links on air and tell the time and the weather, but you actually had to do stuff that had impact. And beyond the radio, you had to immerse yourself in different spaces. So for instance, Fresh at the peak of YFM was, the rock star, the DJ, the guy that has the hottest albums, the guy that is always at the biggest parties. He's international. He's doing all these amazing things. He's the guy on TV on Friday nights, on music shows. So that was him. So he represented, the music and the pop culture and the evolution of South African music to the T. And that lived on his radio show. Rude Boy Paul was a guy that represented, a different perspective. Yes, relatable, young, funky, but also very knowledgeable, very conscious. He brought, the poetry on radio.
And I was going to say, didn't he do that poetry?
He used to do poetry on the radio, and it was disruptive. It was like, what, poetry on radio? But that's what he represented. One of my favorite personalities, Lee Kasumba, she was on Bad Boy T, Lee and Sansa. She represented hip hop through and through. A lot of what my generation knows about South African hip hop is thanks to her, right? And if there was ever an opportunity to give her flowers, like, it's now. She wouldn't miss a beat as far as the biggest or the hottest upcoming artist who's trailblazing right now. Who do we need to know about? So that's what she represented. So what I was saying to MacG is, say, listen, dude, you need to represent something. You need to stand for something. There's got to be some kind of space that we can identify you within for people to connect with you. Obviously, we're not one-dimensional, but that was the essence of what YFM was about.
Can I tell you something, a story about MacG? He came to me one day very, very excited because he knew that I was representing Hunter's Dry. Came to pitch me this idea he's got for the radio station. He says, "Oh, it's going to be brilliant. Can you take it to Hunters and get them to like sponsor the show?" He says it's called So You Think You Can Drink.
And he can drink. And that sounds like something that he would come up with.
And it sounds like something that actually would have done really well, especially on YFM. But like, if you look at it through like our lens now these days, it's like it was the funniest thing ever.
Okay, but did the brand like
no, it doesn't.
So that's the thing, Jill. It's about, when we come on radio and when we have radio shows and when we have an opportunity to become broadcasters, impact is important. Being able to shift people, shift spaces, bring new ideas, change ideas, whatever. Sometimes it's not about being revolutionary, but it's about being memorable.